Yeah. We say it away. Woo crew going live in five. In a time where you walk outside. You got your mask like your name, Mike Myers. Ever met a gang that's lit like mine? You got 10, got Graham, they all part of the fan. We got Fran, got Tess, and calling them in. Professor Ross, who started the plan. Got Lauren, it's a gene, yeah, they heading the team. Got Kate and Kelsey, ain't nothing to tell me. Martell and Joe got it hot like Nelly. Saya make the group go higher. Karina, we need it, she'll get it done when it's required. And I'm the one who's supplying all the fire. Woo crew, name a group who fly. Woo crew going live in five. In the time when you walk outside. You got your mask like your name, Mike Myers. Ever met a gang that's lit like mine? Woo crew going live in five. In the time when you walk outside. You got your mask like your name, Mike Myers. Ever met a gang that's lit like ours? Gone.
Thanks for coming. We're so excited to have Janaiya and Mandusa. Just to give a little introduction to our audience, Janaiya Green and Mandusa Sidibay are seniors here at Holy Cross. They were previously in Professor Ross's hip hop class and are involved in the hip hop scene at Holy Cross. We're so excited to have them. So we're just going to jump right into the interview questions. So we'd love to know, how and when did your passion for hip hop begin?
I can go if you want to go. I feel like for me, my passion for hip hop has sparked since I was like a kid. I mean, like growing up in an urban neighborhood, like hip hop and R&B were like the two most dominant music genres that you would constantly hear. So, I mean, growing up hearing hip hop music, but then also growing up into the culture too has been a big part of my life. Um, Especially too, I'm like a huge fan of fashion. So, like fashion and the music culture also go really hand in hand. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of what Janai said. I think growing up like in the city, like in an urban city, like even like you're driving in a car, like I know I have vivid memories of when I was younger. And I would be in like the back seat, like 4 or 5 in the back seat of a car, and like it'd always be like hip hop and R&B music playing on the radio, like and just that always being like surrounded in it. And yeah, so I just think like it was just I was just born into it. I don't know. This is nice.
If you don't mind me asking, where are you guys from?
I'm from Boston.
Yeah, I'm from Boston too.
Okay.
When we were doing some background on you guys, we saw that your favorite artists were Jay-Z and Drake. We just wanted to hear like about what has their impact been on you, or any other like favorite current artists that you're listening to.
I can go first. As far as for Drake, I always like go to Drake when I'm talking about like my top 5 favorite like rappers or artists right now that I just really like. Just because I feel like Drake has been with us, or he's just been a prominent like rapper since I've been like in elementary school. Like as long as I can remember, Drake has always been like just a main like player in the rap scene, the rap arena. And like he generally makes good songs. Like it's great bops. Like I don't know. Drake is definitely he's just been with us for so long, and he's consistently producing like albums and new music and songs, and I think he's gonna be around for much longer. So yeah, Drake is definitely one of the main people who've like just kept me engaged in hip hop like since I've been young. Like he's like one of my go-tos. So for sure. Jay-Z's also great too. I've recently tapped him. But I think Janaiya. Do you know it's a Janaiya's favorite that was Jay-Z?
Yeah, I was going off of that too. Like I feel like my taste kind of like goes with like the current like artists that are on the scene. Like some of my new favorite ones now, like I'm a huge fan of like Roddy Rich. I love Gunna. He's one of my favorite artists, like Young Thug and everything. But I feel like Drake is like definitely a staple, like in the hip hop industry and like as an all around artist too. I mean, and along with like Jay Z, I mean, a lot of people pay homage to him. So yeah.
So one of the things that Professor Ross has us doing is like obviously we're doing like the Woo Crew thing where we're kind of expanding like off of Holy Cross's campus. But we were wondering if you think that our school like embraces hip hop and like does a good enough job allowing like the students to be able to perform and like embrace the culture and stuff.
Great
It's
question.
kind of loaded.
I'm thinking, I think we talked about this like a little bit last semester into Professor Ross's class. We talked a bit about how there was no like type of like hip hop minor or concentration or something like that. And we were like looking at like crafting that and like maybe making it possible. So I guess maybe it's not that they're not willing, because I remember that Professor Ross also told us when she went to school here that they had Drake and like J. Cole as like the spring performer for the spring concert. So I don't think it's that they're not like willing. I just think there's never been like a strong enough like people have never put enough like interest and like thought into developing it more and expanding it in like an institutional sense on the campus. I mean, but I think people listen to hip hop at parties and stuff. Like when parties were allowed to happen, people listen to like hip hop music and stuff a lot there. But I think in like the institutional, like academia sense, I don't know if hip hop's been fully embraced. But I feel like that's like slowly happening.
Yeah, well, going off of that, I'd say amongst the student body, like hip hop is pretty much embraced. And like Medusa was saying, like when parties like pre-COVID would happen, like the main genre that was played was hip hop music. But also going off of like the whole institutional aspect, I want to say it was 2019. The school like tried to get a few hip hop artists to play for our spring concert, and they like denied like every one of them. So I'd say on a more institutional level, I feel uh, like from them, their perspective has changed a lot on hip hop, and I feel as if they have like a negative view of what these artists represent. We're like, yeah, like some of them have records and everything, but like I feel like as a whole, they affect like the student body in a positive way and like unify everyone together. So I feel like both sides kind of contradict each other.
So you talked about like having a hip hop minor. But do you think there's like anything else we could do as like a class or as like the Woo Crew to establish a stronger hip hop community at Holy Cross?
I don't know. I think maybe with like a strong enough interest, like maybe developing like a hip hop club or something like that, or like developing like more ways just to see if there's enough people interested. So maybe like offering more like well, I don't know if we could do this, but offering more like hip hop courses or stuff, or just different like events to even like, I don't know, gauge the interest of the like student body about what it is. Just maybe because then once there's like enough people who show up, get enough interest, I feel like getting it into like a concentration or a minor or whatever would be easier.
Yeah, going off of that, I feel like events would really engage everyone into like sparking more interest into learning more about hip hop. I don't know if you remember this, Medusa, but we had interviewed an alum. Was like 20. No, this was last year actually, and he had told us that when he used to go to school here, they would have like rap battles in roads and everything, and like the whole school would, like come out like a big group of people, and like everyone would just rap battle each other every week. So like even engaging in stuff like that would spark a more interest amongst hip hop and everything. So I feel like being more hands on with it would be pretty cool.
Yeah. I feel like this class, like that we're in this class, is kind of a good sense that at least some stuff is going on with hip hop. But I feel like we got to tie in the students more, like you were saying. And then also in class, we've been talking a lot about just like how hip hop originated and like the road it's been on. And like I'm just wondering what you guys think about kind of the current state of hip hop today. Do you think there are any like major issues it's facing, or is it at like a good place? Because I feel like it's kind of been a rocky, I don't know.
I feel like there's this big sense of like old new hip hop and new hip hop. Like a lot of older artists can't really appreciate the new music that's coming out today when like we all know that society changes over time. Um, I mean, besides that, I feel like that's like the main issue going on. Like there was an article about Nas, I want to say like last month or sometime, but he was basically saying how artists today, like he doesn't really appreciate any of them and doesn't listen to any of them, which I feel like understandable. It's not his type of like era, but I feel like they've also made an impact on the hip hop industry and the music industry altogether. I don't know if you have anything else to add, just or whatever.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. Yeah, I think like every genre goes through like progresses. I don't know. Every genre changes eventually a little bit and transforms. So I don't know, there's always like the new hip hop and like the old hip hop like debate, and people always making fun of like the newer rappers and stuff. But I just feel like I don't know. I feel like all like the real hip hop versus like SoundCloud hip hop stuff. Like I don't know. I think both can coexist. He's really like I don't know. Like you can have your choice of it. I feel like both are valid in hip hop. Like just different subgenres within the genre. Maybe is how you could do it, but I think they can all coexist.
So one of the issues that we've been discussing in class a lot, especially being taught by a female teacher, is whether or not you can be a feminist and a fan of hip hop. And we kind of looked at artists like Kanye West, and like Lil Uzi, who like both use like very charged, like sexually charged lyrics and whatnot. Um, so we're curious to hear like your opinions on that.
I think we have to answer this question like it's like she asked us this like last semester. I don't even remember what I said, but um I think I said something along the lines of you basically I feel like as a woman who listens to rap, sometimes you just have to compromise a little. Like I think sometimes I draw the line, like I would never listen to like known abusers or like known like people like that because I feel like you can't separate the art from the artist. However, like in the lyrics, the content themselves, I feel like if it's not like, I don't know, if it's nothing too crazy, I like in the name of poetic justice, I guess I'll listen to it. But yeah, I just feel like sometimes you like as long as and you have to like sit with it. You can't just be like, haha, whatever. Like you should like listen and know like what you're listening to and what you're hearing and what the lyrics are saying. And then from there you can decide like if you're comfortable listening to it. But yeah. I generally just feel like you have to compromise a little sometimes. Sometimes the beat is just too good.
Yeah, I agree because I'm not gonna sit here and lie and act like I don't sit here and sing the lyrics too because if the song's good, I'm gonna sing it. But like I do feel like there are certain instances where like a rapper would say something and it's like like okay. But I feel like you could be a feminist and listen to rap music, but like Medusa was saying, you should try to compromise a little bit, but still also understand like what you're listening to.
Yeah, I agree. And I liked what you said, like it's more for me about like the artist's personal life, what's going on with that. I think lyrics can just be, I don't know, kind of thoughtless sometimes when they shouldn't be, but gotta focus on like what's going on outside of that too.
And now a word from our state rep, Daniel Donahue, about an important nonprofit organization located in Worcester. We hope you will support in solidarity with the Woo Crew.
Hi, I'm Daniel Donahue, Massachusetts State Representative for the 16th Worcester District. I'd like to take this opportunity to tell you a bit more about Abby's House, a nonprofit organization that values women from diverse backgrounds and experiences in my hometown of Worcester, Mass. The mission of Abby's House is to provide shelter and affordable housing, as well as advocacy and support services to homeless, battered, and low-income women with or without children. This is an important organization in our community, values hospitality, diversity and inclusion, compassion and respect, women's self-determination, and collective effort. Holy Cross was the first class to help support the women of Abby's House by providing volunteers to staff the shelter dating back to 1976. And Holy Cross students and alumni continue to partner with Abby's House by providing monetary, in-kind, and volunteer support. I hope you'll consider joining us by making a donation to Abby's House in honor of their 45th anniversary. Your donations will help to keep in operation the 79 units of supportive housing and 9 overnight shelter beds of Abby's House. Additionally, your donation will contribute to the wonderful programs of Abby's House, such as providing each woman with an advocate who helps her identify realistic goals and provides her with the tools she needs to achieve these goals. If you are able and willing to make a gift to this amazing nonprofit, please click the link accompanying this video. If you would like to learn more about Abby's House, including opportunities for volunteering, please visit them at abbyshouse.org. Thank you.
Thank you for your time listening to our state representative talk about this great opportunity to support the Worcester community. And now back to the Woo Crew for more excitement.
What do you guys think about the like hip hop scene in Worcester? We haven't been around Worcester much, but like, do you think hip hop is a big part of it, or like how it affects the community?
I honestly don't know. I feel like we didn't get a chance to like fully delve into it before our semester was cut short last year. But I don't know. We did speak last year. We got to interview like I forgot what his role is in the Worcester government. He was basically responsible for like engaging the community with the government, something like that. But he was like speaking about how he wanted to incorporate hip hop more into the community. So maybe have like even like a hip hop festival or something in the city. But besides from that, I don't really know much about like the hip hop scene in Worcester. I know that Jordan Lucas is from Worcester. That's it. I don't know much about it.
Yeah, I can't really speak on anything much. I feel like the only aspect that we've saw like in our past class was graffiti. There's like a lot of art in Worcester. If you guys haven't seen it already, it's really pretty. But I mean, besides that, I can't really like speak on like the whole music scene in Worcester. I haven't really seen much on my end.
Yeah. What about maybe in Boston then, in your hometowns?
I think Massachusetts has a really like huge like hip hop scene. It's really nice. There's been like a resurgence. I think like in the years before, I don't know if you guys are from around Massachusetts, but like in the years before, the hip hop wasn't really like a genre like embraced by like the Massachusetts music scene. Like it was a lot of like, I don't know, like indie rap, like indie artists and people like Claro. I don't know if you know, but people like her coming out of like Massachusetts, like. But I think recently there's been like a really big resurgence of like rappers, like local rappers doing really well, actually. And I think the streaming era kind of helps a lot with it. Like, you know how like music can be featured on like Spotify playlists and stuff. So you can discover like smaller artists quicker. And I think that's contributed to a lot. But I know there's like a lot of local artists, like locally from like cities like Brockton, Boston, all around, like have like million streamed albums on Spotify and stuff, like, you know, often like locally, which is super cool. And I think, yeah, I think hip hop is just because it's kind of become like the forefront of popular music right now. I think it's a really good time for rappers all around, and I can definitely see that locally in my scene.
Yeah, I can agree with that for sure. And definitely more on like the streetwear, like fashion side. I kind of see that branding more into fashion too. I mean, into Boston, like in the hub of Boston, you can see that a lot more. And then kind of going off of seeing hip hop grow as a whole. Like I personally love going to concerts, and I've been to like a lot. And one of the artists I've seen a lot is J. Cole. And one of the first times I saw him was at the House of Blues, which is like a smaller venue in Boston. In the last one of the last few times I saw him was at one of the bigger arenas called TD Gardens, also where the Celtics play. But he was actually able to like sell out the arena, which was pretty cool. So like kind of see like his fan base of hip hop grow in Boston too has been really interesting.
And then we also saw that Mandusu, the past summer you worked at Hot New Hip Hop, and we were wondering like kind of what that experience was like for you.
Yeah. So I interned at New Hip Hop last summer. And then I freelance write for them now. So I still write a little bit for them now. It's been super cool being like in the industry, specifically in hip hop. Like I've always loved hip hop. I've always loved music. I've always wanted to be on like the reporting side of music. Like I've always wanted to work behind the scenes of music. So getting to see things like firsthand, like getting sent like press releases and stuff, like just having that firsthand access is just super cool. It's just really exciting. Like getting to like interview artists and things like that. It's been super dope. Yeah. So it's a dream job. And it just kind of opened the door to other opportunities, like all like in the music industry. Cause then like in the arts and like entertainment industry, arts, media, entertainment, all of that, in order to like even get like access to like different opportunities and different jobs, or even get like a phone call back, you kind of have to already have that like that one opportunity, that one cosign of like a organization already in the community. So that's like, it was really exciting. It was a big deal for me. I was like, yeah, finally can keep going. But yeah, I want to get into like music marketing and PR hopefully next. So that's what I'm aiming to know. But yeah, super exciting. I love hip hop.
How long were you there for? Was it the whole summer?
I'm sorry?
How long were you working there for? Was it like a couple months?
In the summer, I interned from like I want to say I interned from like May to August or something like that. And then in December, I started as like a freelance writer.
Gotcha, that's so cool.
So we know that you guys are from Boston, and like we always talk about how a big part of like hip hop, and like personally for me, like my love of hip hop, like kind of stems from like origin stories and like how you're raised and whatnot. So were your parents or like siblings or anyone close to you in your community, like, do they have an influence in like your love of hip hop?
I'd say for me, my mom didn't listen to a lot of hip hop. She listens more to like R&B music, but my aunt used to be like a huge fan of Nas, so she would play hip hop music around me when I was a kid all the time. And at first, my mom kind of like put into my head that like, oh, it's explicit, blah blah blah, you can't listen to it, all this stuff. But like the more I got older, like I started to listen to hip hop music. So I'd say like my aunt really influenced me with learning more about hip hop, and my dad too.
So my parents aren't like from America, so they weren't really rocking with the hip hop music. My older sister, I remember when I was younger, she used to listen to a lot of like Little Kim and stuff, a lot of like Nicki Minaj. Like I remember in the 4th grade listening to Nicki Minaj because my older sister was listening to her. Loved her, of course. Another main reason why I love hip hop. And then also throughout high school, like I went to a high school with a lot of like people who like a lot of just like musically inclined people, like a lot of people who have been like, I want to be a rapper since they were like 13 or 14. So just being around people like with that energy, like I've just always had an admiration for like rappers and like just the hip hop like scene in general. Cause I've always been like just really close with people who like are really good at rapping. So
And then to close it out, we're wondering if you have any advice you would give to young women aspiring to become part of the hip hop community.
One thing I would say, make sure just like claim your space. Like I remember last semester when me and Janaiya took the class. I think there was like 3 women in the class.
Yeah.
There was literally like 3 of us, and then all of it was literally all hockey and football players. That was it. So you can imagine how intimidating the space would be. But it wasn't. Like, I feel like me and Janaiya were literally like, we would call ourselves like the first ladies of hip hop. Because it was so funny. Like, we really like, I don't know, we claimed our space in that class, like, I think, like, really well. You just have to go, make sure you know what you're talking about. Or make sure, even if you don't know what you're talking about, sound like you know what you're talking about, like, all the time. Just, yeah, that's really it. Claim your space. Don't be intimidated.
Yeah, it's also like definitely like be confident in what you're talking about too. Like not being afraid to use your voice, although it may be like a male dominated space. Yeah, I would just say be confident. You have to be confident in anything that you do. So yeah.
Love that. Okay, well, I think that was pretty much all we were gonna ask about. Thank you so much again for doing this.
No, of course.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You guys.
Hopefully we'll see you around campus sometime.
Oh yeah, when it's non-Zoom days, hopefully.
Yeah, exactly.
They're coming. When is the assignment like due?
So I think we're gonna like edit this Zoom call and then write the transcript, and then it'll go on the Instagram like within the next month. I think they're like rolling them out each group.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's cute.
I'll definitely let you guys know.
Oh, please, for sure.
Nice meeting you guys.
Nice meeting you guys too. Good luck with the rest of your semester.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, let us know if you guys need anything else too.
Oh, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.